Today we're talking about the Ghost, the best clone trooper ever, Gringotts, and more on Ask MandR episode 275, the series where I answer your questions. So if you have a question or topic for next week's episode, leave it down in the comment section below and hit the like button while you're at it. Let's get right into it with our first couple of questions from ZH566, who says, I think if they did a UCS Ghost, then the minifigures would probably be a mixture of Rebels and Ahsoka's characters. They would probably do it like the Death Star and UCS Falcon, where it has minifigs from multiple appearances. And then JKLM Videos chimes in asking if I think the Ghost could be the first $1,000 LEGO set. And to answer his question first, I don't think the Ghost in a UCS form will end up being the first $1,000 LEGO set. I think it's far more likely it will be in the range of something like the Razor Crest, and at the very high end, $850 like the Millennium Falcon. To see another jump from the price of the Falcon up $150 to $1,000 for a Ghost, I just don't see it personally. As far as the minifigs go, I think our friend ZH is on the money there. I would imagine the minifigs would be a mixture of characters from both Rebels and the Ahsoka show, given that the earliest the UCS Ghost is going to come out anyway is going to be next fall. I don't expect it next fall, but that would be the earliest that I would say it could come out. And obviously this isn't confirmation from LEGO that they will make one, but Hasbro is putting out a $500 vintage collection Ghost playset through their HasLab program. So it looks like that one's going to get funded and get made. I'm honestly thinking of picking one up myself, both to have and to do a comparison of when I think they'll eventually make a UCS LEGO Ghost. I think it'd just be sick for my MandR Collects channel. So to see another company willing to do a $500 Ghost, you think LEGO is going to eventually do a $500 or $600 Ghost. I just don't think it'll be the first $1,000 set. Ed Cube says, now that all three Ahsoka sets have leaked, what is your ranking from worst to best? This is like ranking Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Jason Tatum from worst to best. They're like probably the three best basketball players right now. Maybe Steph Curry. Well, you get the point. Like they're the three best LEGO Star Wars sets coming out this year, and one of them has to be the worst if you want me to look at it this way. So just keep that in mind. I would probably put the E-Wing set at the bottom of the list just because it's the ship I have the least attachment to. You know, Shin Starfighter is nice. The E-Wing is very nice. Getting 5 figures in a $110 set is pretty nice for LEGO Star Wars, all things considered, even though Harry Potter would get like 10. It's still better than what I feel like is normal for LEGO Star Wars, but it's the set that if it didn't exist, I would be okay with. And then in the middle, I gotta go with the T6 Shuttle. For $80, you're getting 4 pretty good minifigures. The size of the ship looks pretty good to me. The coloring is the only thing I take a small issue with, being gray instead of white. Even the Hasbro toy was done in white. I know people like to defend it as it's a kid's toy, so it can't have flaws, but when the other company does it right for their kid's toy, why can't LEGO? But then again, in the show, it might end up being darker than it looks in the trailer. Who knows? I'm giving them a real benefit of a doubt there. I do really like the way it looks in gray, though. It does look really sharp to me. And then, of course, at the tippity top is going to be that Ghost. I think that's going to end up being my favorite set of the year because it doesn't have helmet holes. James Pike wants to know if I miss the old box art designs. Previous years were so much more iconic than the plain boxes we get now. So, from a sense of chopping things up from year to year, I think what they did in previous years, where you would have, let me grab something from the back here, the B-Wing, right? And it's got the 2013 Yoda, and everyone knows that that's the 2013 box art. Or, of course, these very iconic blue Captain Rex box arts from 2011. We also have the summer 2009 and early 2010 Clone Wars box art. Like, the year-by-year LEGO box art for a long time was very cool, and having that character spot up there, I think, helped add to that iconicity of each of those years. So in that way, I definitely miss it. And I do agree that it made it more iconic and it gave a better feeling of what was from what era. And I would definitely agree that what we have now is a bit more bland, but I also kind of like the synchronization of the box art. I think that going year over year over year with LEGO Star Wars, putting out so many sets now, like just having everything kind of be the same on the shelf is also nice. So there's pros and cons to both sides of it, but at the end of the day, I think having the box art match the property that it's from, and of course this one being The Mandalorian, is a really cool and different way to do it than what they did for 20 years. So I'm pretty happy with both, honestly, and I kind of really like what they're doing now when they don't mess it up. Real quick, a lot of people are asking me what LEGO conventions I'm going to for the rest of the year. There's only 2 left that I'll be at. It's Brick Fair, Virginia, August 5th and 6th, and Brick Fan Fest in Tampa, August 19th and 20th. For Brick Fan Fest in Tampa, I have a discount code. It's M1T23, or you can just click the link in the description. That'll be enough traveling for me for the year, but if you live in Florida, Brick Fan Fest in Tampa, I'm kind of excited to go to a LEGO convention in Florida for a weekend. I've never done a full weekend of a Florida LEGO convention. Once and Twice wants to know what the best clone trooper LEGO has made throughout the years. I think the 2012 ARC Trooper is a really good option. It was a fantastic minifigure with just more detail than you could have imagined in 2012. 2013 Rex, while he's missing the rangefinder, does look phenomenal as well, and the new version is just going to look goofy with the way that they have decided to incorporate the rangefinder 10 years later, so the non-rangefinder version will aesthetically just look better. And I think the last great clone trooper that we saw was this 2020 Airborne clone trooper. Just love the look on this guy, just head to toe looks amazing, from Revenge of the Sith obviously. So yeah, those three clone troopers I think are some of the best. If I had to pick what I thought was their best work, it would probably be the ARC Trooper. Just overall, such a phenomenal job with love and care put into the figure, something I can't quite say about a lot of the stuff they do nowadays. I mean, I could say it about this just 3 years ago, but you know, things have kind of fallen off a cliff since then for clones. So yeah, it's an answer that kind of surprised me as you made me think about it, but I think the 2012 ARC is maybe their best work so far. That Poke Ball guy wants to know what my opinions on the new Harry Potter Gringotts set are. I think it might be my favorite Harry Potter set. I mean, I really like the big train from last year. That's probably gotta be it. That thing is amazing, but this Gringotts set is unique in so many ways. It's incredibly creative. I'm just so impressed by what they put out here. I mean, they clearly spent many, many hours, you know, pouring all their love into this set. There's one problem with it. The Gringotts sticker on the front of the bank says Gringott, and then there's a large space, and then it has the TS. I don't know why it had to be this way. It didn't have to be this way, frankly. LEGO has this rule where they aren't supposed to place stickers across multiple bricks. So you have 2 stickers to create the word Gringotts. But we're talking about an 18+ adult collectible set. Just put the sticker across 2 bricks. I know it's not ideal, but it would look way better. Or you could have just printed it, because this is a $450 set or however much it costs anyway, and you should be printing that so that it looks as good as it can be, especially when it's like front and center on your $450 set. So I have a big problem with that, but outside of that, it's kind of like how I think I'm gonna feel about the Venator. Rex is gonna suck, much like that sticker for Gringotts sucks, but the rest of the set is so awesome. So yeah, like the Gringotts is amazing. I'll be doing a review on it. And to tie into this, Alfonso has a question on whether or not LEGO will remake Jabba's Palace and the Rancor Pit due to the protest. Now, as far as like people protesting, like, yeah, I don't think that will stop them from redoing that sort of like iconic original trilogy stuff. It shouldn't. We'll have to counter-protest if it does, but I've seen a few ideas going around the internet for a Jabba's Palace Rancor Pit that just so happen to be very similar to what we see with Gringotts, doing the Jabba's Palace on top that can be removed, of course, built on a base plate or whatever, with the Rancor Pit below the palace so that you can have all the functionality of dropping characters into the Rancor Pit and have the Rancor living down below. Like, the Gringotts idea translated into Star Wars with Jabba's Palace and a Rancor Pit would be top 5 pretty easily. So yeah, just throwing that out there as an idea. Hopefully the LEGO Star Wars designers are already on that, because I think that's just a phenomenal way to go and do one of the most iconic things from Return of the Jedi. So yeah, I don't expect it anytime soon, but that'd be a killer set. Joey wants to know if LEGO age ratings are determined by how complex the build is. He always assumed it was by how many pieces come in a set, apart from dioramas, until seeing the recent 8+ Yavin 4. It is absolutely, almost for sure, how complex the build is, or at least it was, except for, or until, like you mentioned, the diorama sets, the 18+ sets that have come about. Clearly, these are 2 LEGO sets that have a very similar building level, like just bricks and plates and stickers, bricks and plates and stickers, and putting together some minifigures, right? Very easy builds. However, the Blacktron set says 18 years and up, and the File First Battle Pack says 7 and up. So, like, I don't know why they did 18 and up on this one either, because it's not even on the black box art. I know it's kind of a throwback set, but still, if it doesn't have black box art, I don't see why you would do 18 and up. I disagree with that. But anyway, as far as I can tell, it does generally have to do with the complexity of the build. This is an 8-year-old build for sure after building it. It's just a bunch of bricks and plates. It's really simple to do. It is a lot of pieces, but at the end of the day, the build is still brain dead simple. Versus, of course, a set like Rivendell. And to be fair, the 18 plus marking that they put on these black box art sets is something that they just kind of blanket put on black box art sets because that's just kind of what they're going for. Like, not all 18 plus sets are created equal as far as the build goes. Like, there are some of these sets that could easily be 10 plus age range sets or 9-year-old age range sets as far as the build difficulty, but because of the black art they all get the 18 plus rating, and like I said, they're not all created equally. This one, because of like the length of the build, probably is certainly deserving. It might not be the most difficult build ever, but like you're at 5,000-6,000 pieces, like that's an 18 plus build. Versus these junior sets like this, that's going to be for 4-year-olds, and of course Duplo going even lower. So yeah, generally, as far as I can tell, it has to do with the complexity of the build, except for when it doesn't. I don't know how true this is, but Rory says, I've heard a rumor that there's potentially a new Plo Koon mold, I think mostly the same design, but hard plastic rather than rubberized, in the works. Maybe that would tie into a turbo tank if they were to base it off the Psycho Dias Discovery episode of Clone Wars. Could get Plo, Wolf, who we know they have a design from the Castaways, and some Wolfpack troopers, and probably another gunner. Or the turbo tank could of course end up being Kashyyyk based, etc, etc. But I do want to talk about the Plo Koon and the potential for the Wolfpack there. I think that that's probably coming in some way, shape, or form. You're probably right. Whether that rumor is like a real thing you've heard or not, I have no idea. But Plo Koon is probably coming by 2025. I'd love for it to be an episode 3 set where it's Plo Koon Starfighter and an ARC 170, right? That would be the coolest way to do Plo Koon. You can get the Wolfpack in another set, do a battle pack, whatever. Doesn't have to include Plo Koon himself with the Wolfpack, although they also could. But I offer a word of caution to LEGO Star Wars Clone Trooper fans, because we might continue down a dark path here if LEGO does Wolfpack the way they've been doing Clone Troopers lately. Did you see, everyone's seen that 212 Trooper, right? Everyone remembers that? Because it didn't change. If the printing still sucks for LEGO Clone Troopers whenever they get around to doing Wolfpack Troopers, it stands to reason that there is no way they could replicate what they did in 2014 for the Wolfpack Trooper. The print on the top of this Wolfpack Trooper is right over the fin. It's also like really close and tight, and it looks really good, but according to what they could only do with the 212, you can't even print anywhere close to the fin anymore. So how could they possibly make the Wolfpack Trooper? It couldn't possibly look anything like they did in 2014. It would have to look just atrocious and have giant gaps between the design, which wouldn't make any sense given the source material firstly, but also what they were able to do 10 years ago. So just a warning there. Like I said, I don't want any Clone Troopers anymore until they fix their stuff, because it's really bad right now in my opinion. That's just the way I see it. And the Wolfpack Trooper is a great example of they can't do it. Anyway, I think the future could be bright here. There's some real good potential for cool sets and cool combinations of characters. I think the Coruscant gunship is a great example of that, but when it comes to the execution and the look of some of these figures and the detail that they're going to put into it, it just might not be there. Nathan says, I've been jumping on the buy it ASAP train for the past few years and want to shift more to a bargain buying trend. I know you jump around Target/Walmart and utilize Kohl's Cash. Can you share your tactic for bargain building of a collector? Example, time of year, years after release, when not to wait, etc. So we'll work backwards there. Basically, once you're over like a year and a half of a set being out, unless it's like a really odd one like the UCS Millennium Falcon where it's been out for 7 years, most sets aren't. Like, most sets are going to be out for a year and a half, 2 years. There will always be a few exceptions to the rule, but the general rule of thumb is 2 years is kind of the average shelf life for a LEGO set at the high end. And so once you're over a year and a half, that is your when not to wait zone. That's like, oh, if you see it for 20% off, or if you see it on a clearance deal, you buy it. Now, clearance, of course, is a when not to wait anyway. If it's on clearance, it's probably 30, 40, 50% off, and that's about as good as you can probably do anyway, so you should probably buy it then. As far as time of year, the Christmas season just generally can have really good deals, and of course, right now in the middle of summer, I talked about it a little bit last week, we're having the big summer clearance at stores like Walmart. I think Target had some stuff on clearance a month or two ago, although it wasn't as good as the Walmart stuff is right now. So, you know, that stuff varies. It's pretty simple tactics at the end of the day to just not buy day one and wait for a sale, just full stop. You just wait for a sale. Like, you don't even have to maximize the dollars you save. Just don't spend the full price and you're already doing pretty good. So clearance like now on sets that released last year is always good. So if you see stuff coming out this summer that you really want, but maybe you want to try to get a better price on, waiting a year is not a bad idea. So good luck saving a little extra money out there. Next question from Alex says, what is your opinion on Forged in Lego's Republic dropship that connects with the 2022 ATT? Personally, I've built the mock and think it's a great rendition of what LEGO could release as a new dropship. It's never happening. All right, let's take a look. I've never heard of this guy. That looks like a really good Republic dropship. I thought this was going to be like a rebuild of another set, you know what I mean? But this looks really good. This is a souped up modern version of a dropship. Let me see. I want to see how this works. I'm really curious what the attachment system is like. All right, it looks like he's about to attach it here. Let's see. Okay, so it doesn't attach with the handle? No, it doesn't, as far as I can tell. It looks like it attaches like onto the side of like the main body of the ATTE. What? I don't understand how that works. Whoa. It must have some Technic pins that go into some open holes. That's what it's got to be. Yeah, just 1000% has to be that. I don't know if he'll show it with a closer up shot. I'm not seeing it. He just keeps showing it opening and closing, or like attaching and detaching, which it looks like a really good mechanism, really simple mechanism. Yeah, he doesn't show it up close, does he? But yeah, that looks really good. I wonder, let me see. So he's selling the instructions for $10, and it looks like to get all the parts, it might cost you a few $100, maybe more. It's hard to tell. I just kind of put the thing into Rebrickable, and it said to get 92% of the parts, it would cost you $300. So who knows? Anyway, that was neat, way cooler than I was expecting. Next question from DXO says that the 10th anniversary of the LEGO movie is coming up and wants to know if there'll be any more sets based on it, you know, full wave or anything. And personally, first off, I can't believe it's been 10 years since the LEGO movie came out. Like, I remember seeing that in theaters like it was yesterday. However, I would imagine they'd have to make some sort of throwback set. I mean, they're making throwback sets like the Blacktron set, right? So you have to celebrate your own giant movie from just 10 years ago, I feel like. Like, you still have enough of a market there that people that watch the movie would want to buy the sets, and new kids that are watching the movie might want some of the sets, and of course some of that nostalgia is starting to kick in 10 years later. So I think at the very least I would expect and be happy with a gift with purchase promo, kind of like this. But, you know, it would be pretty cool if they did a couple of sets. I wouldn't say a full line, but a couple of sets would be neat. Stefan says, what are your thoughts on buying LEGO sets on sale and reselling them? Worth it? Bad for the community? Well, buying them on sale, especially during this Walmart clearance time, is about the cheapest you're going to be able to buy them. So that's a good strategy, as it turns out. Is it bad for the community? It's a double-edged sword here. People talk about how there's so many more resellers these days and how they're bad and this and that. I don't think they understand that without people that resold LEGO, you end up with things that cost exorbitantly more. I mean, you look back to, it's a great example right here. The reason this set cost $10,000 sealed in the box, this is not a sealed box, by the way, it's completely empty. I wish it was sealed. Is one, it's a cool set, it's a rare set, but the reason it's as rare as it is because there weren't very many people buying things to resell them back in 2003. And so yes, while things become more expensive post-retirement these days, just like they always have, they are more expensive than they would be otherwise, with less people investing in them or buying them to sell them, or however you want to look at it. That's the way I view it these days. It's also worth noting that LEGO owns the biggest secondary market for LEGO in Bricklink, which means they are complicit in reselling of LEGO. So if the big old company that we're all beholden to is okay with it and allowing it and profiting off of it, why can't you and I? That, you know, at the end of the day, I think that's the full stop right there. Is all you have to do is look at that. And that changed just a few years ago. I went and I know I've made some videos pretty outspoken against resellers on Bricklink, but once LEGO bought Bricklink, all bets are off. It's like, you know, what argument are you trying to make? LEGO clearly is encouraging, allowing, and profiting off it. You know what I mean? So if they didn't want people to resell their stuff, they would have bought Bricklink and deleted the website, wouldn't they? You know, that's just my point of view on it. So, yeah. Do what you want, make yourself some extra change. Why not? Titus wants a little behind the scenes here. He says, when you're recording review videos, do you do the voiceover while you actually review and have the model in hand, or do you record the audio later and make sure it syncs? This has been on my mind for a while and I would love some closure. I got you, dude. So the short answer is it depends. The long answer is, for the entire history of my channel, 2009 until about a year ago, everything that you would see recorded for a review would be recorded as I'm holding the camera. So if I'm talking about a minifig, I'm like, yeah, this is the Wolfpack Trooper. It's good, it's bad, the helmet print's awesome, the helmet print sucks, this or that, you know, whatever it is. And then about a year ago, I started to do like, I would do like a still shot of some of the minifigures. I would say, or just different B-roll shots maybe. And I would do a voiceover and then I would film a bunch of B-roll to match what I had said about the thing. So it definitely varies for each review. There are some reviews where the only voiceover parts are the intro and the minifigs. There are some reviews where I do a lot of heavy voiceover for the actual like set review because it's just easier for me to film it that way. It really comes down to just how difficult it is for me to film a certain thing or different camera angles that I want to get because of the way my microphone is. I need to be talking into the microphone on my camera for it to sound good. So let's just say I want to get a good top-down shot of the Statue of Liberty head. It's easy for me to hold the camera up here and point it down and just get a good still shot or a good moving shot of what I want to get. It's not so easy for me to point the camera down, the microphone's pointing up in the air, and I'm trying to stand over it like this and talk into it, and the camera's shaking. And so yeah, I've started to do a lot more B-roll with different reviews, and obviously you've noticed. It's not supposed to be noticeable in a bad way, obviously. It's supposed to make the video better. That's why I'm doing it. So I hope it is doing that, but if it isn't, let me know, I guess. But yeah, I think I've been really upping my game for some of the reviews that I've been putting out, and I've been pretty happy with it. So the process is really simple, where I'll sit and record the voiceover, and then immediately after that, I will film the thing that I just talked about, you know? And that's kind of the order that I'll film reviews in, is I'll talk about a thing, and then I'll film all of that thing, and then I'll talk about a thing, and then I'll film exactly that, you know, at least when I'm not filming while talking, if that makes sense. Hope that answered your question. Next one from Emperor Lego Brick says, you know it's a good day when Ryan uploads. I see this type of comment a lot, and I really appreciate that. Like, it's nice to know that you guys enjoy the videos. I will say today is 24 days in a row of uploading on YouTube, and a lot of people have taken notice, and it just feels good to be back again. I've had big upload streaks in the past, and my intention for the rest of the year is to upload every day for the rest of the year. Hopefully I can do that. So yeah, I'm working overtime to like make better videos, but also upload more videos. Like in the past when I've done like 100-day upload streaks, the videos weren't like crazy difficult to make. Like I was making reviews on like a small friend's cart, you know, and that was my upload for the day. I'm trying to have daily uploads that have like a bit more substance to them. So yeah, it's a fun challenge for me, and I'm like really enjoying it right now. So hopefully you guys are enjoying what I'm putting out, and I'll see you next week. Drop your questions below, leave a like, end screen.